Good morning, viewers. Welcome to ST Money's Morning News, your weekday business news channel. It's Wednesday morning, December 18, 2024, and I'm your host, Sunil Thakker of Sunny Talks Money. Let's roll. US stocks retreated on Tuesday, and the Dow dropped for a ninth straight session as investors exercised caution ahead of Federal Reserve's last policy announcement of the year after economic data indicated consumer spending remained solid. The Dow Jones Industrial Average notched its longest losing streak in nearly 47 years on Tuesday, while the Nasdaq hit a record high on Monday and the S&P 500 is up nearly 27% on the year. The Dow has struggled recently and suffered its ninth straight daily decline, its longest losing streak since February 1978. The blue chip index fell 0.6% or 268 points to 43,450 to lead major US indexes lower. The last time the Dow declined 9 days in a row was in February 1978. Meanwhile, the S&P 500 shed 0.4% or 23 points to 6,050, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite dropped 0.3% or 65 points to 20,109. Most analysts feel that there is not too much to read into a 9-day losing streak in the Dow, especially given the strength in the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 over the same time period. The declines were most likely tied to traders reconsidering the path of borrowing costs ahead of Federal Reserve's interest rate decision on Wednesday. Data out on Tuesday showed retail sales rose by a brisker than forecast 0.7% in November. US retail sales increased more than expected in November, buoyed in part by an acceleration in motor vehicle purchases consistent with the strong underlying momentum in a resilient economy. On the flip side, industrial production fell again last month, defying expectations for a rise. Investors expect another quarter point interest rate cut. They are largely focused on the Fed's policy announcement on Wednesday, almost completely pricing in an interest cut of 25 basis points. The bigger question is whether the resilience of the economy will lead the Fed to be more cautious about future easing. Of particular attention will be the Fed's summary of the economic projections, SEP, and comments from Chair Jerome Powell, which may indicate how aggressive the US central bank will be in cutting rates in 2025. The Fed may slow its easing in an economy that appears to have solid momentum and sticky inflation, and the imminent policies to come which could stimulate growth and potentially reignite rising prices. The prospect of rate staying higher for longer has begun to weigh on parts of the stock market, particularly shares of smaller companies and those in cyclical industries such as automakers, entertainment companies, and some retailers. The Russell 2000 index of smaller companies and also seen as more sensitive to higher interest rates ended Tuesday 1.2% lower. Nearly all of the 11 major S&P sectors were lower on the day, led by a 0.9% drop in industrials. Consumer discretionary was the sole advancer, lifted by a 3.6% gain in Tesla after Mizuho hiked its price target on the stock by $285 to $515. Wedbush also hiked its price target on the electric vehicle maker to 515 on Monday. Shares of the parent company of pharmacy benefit managers also took a hit on Tuesday after President elect Donald Trump and others indicated that the new administration planned to crack down on the business. United Health shares lost 2.6% to lead the Dow lower. Meanwhile, Pfizer jumped 4.7% after the drug maker forecast 2025 profit roughly in line with Wall Street expectations. The CBOE volatility index, Wall Street's fear gauge, rose above 15 for the first time in nearly 3 weeks to close at 15.87, its highest since November 21. In other Tuesday's trading, benchmark 10-year Treasury yields ended at 4.384%, down from 4.397% on Monday. Treasury yields oscillated between gains and losses on the day as investors braced for a hawkish cut from the Fed. Bitcoin briefly traded above $108,000 for the first time, surpassing Monday's previous all-time close of $107,812. It ended at $106,734, a record close. In commodities, West Texas Intermediate crude fell 0.7% to $70.19 a barrel, and spot gold fell 0.3% to $2,643 an ounce. Key events this week: US rate decision today, US revised GDP on Thursday, and US personal income spending and PCE inflation on Friday. That's it from me, folks. I'll see you again tomorrow morning. In the meantime, please subscribe, share, and like this video. Thank you. Happy investing, stay inspired, and remember, it is all about money.